Hello everyone. In this video, we shall see the fundamentals of digital image processing from the scratch. First of all, before knowing about digital image, let us see what is an image. So, image it is a two-dimensional function which is represented as f of x comma y where x and y are spatial coordinates. So two-dimensional function means two dimensions means there are two directions. One x represents one dimension, maybe horizontal dimension or vertical dimension. Y represents another dimension or another direction, that is horizontal or vertical direction. So two-dimensional function means it is a mathematical function which is having two directions represented by x and y, and these are only spatial coordinates. Now, the amplitude of f is called the intensity or gray level at a particular point x comma y. So please remember these points f of x comma y and f so that we can understand the definition of digital image easily. Now, when these spatial coordinates x and y and all the intensity values of f are finite and discrete quantities, then we can call that image which is having these parameters as a digital image. So finite means limited, discrete means discontinuous. So when the image is having limited and discontinuous quantities or finite or discrete quantities, then we can consider that image or we can call that image as a digital image. Now what is digital image processing? So processing means making changes. So digital image processing means processing of digital images with the help of a computer. So if we make any changes on the digital images with the help of computer, then that processing is called digital image processing. Now, in terms of digital image processing, we need to understand a term called pixel. So generally, digital images they contain a finite number of elements in them, and each and every element will have a particular location and a value. So such type of elements are called pixels. So we can say that pixel is the individual element in a digital image. So these pixels can also be called as pels, picture elements or image elements, but the most widely used term is pixels. Now let us see the fundamental steps in digital image processing. In this diagram, we can see the fundamental steps in digital image processing. Now let us see about each and every step in detail. So the first fundamental step in digital image processing is image acquisition. So acquisition means process of acquiring. Acquiring means getting. Okay, so generally image acquisition it is the process of sensing the objects. So image acquisition mainly involves steps like pre-processing. So examples of pre-processing are scaling. Next, so the next step is image enhancement. So enhancement means manipulating the image or changing the image so that the output is more suitable than the original one. So here image enhancement is a subjective process. Now what is subjective process? Now if you judge the quality of any image with the help of your vision, then it is called subjective process. So subjective process involves human judgment. So whenever we are looking at an image, and if we say that the image quality is good just by looking at the image with our eyes, if we say that the image quality is good or bad, then that is called subjective process. Next step is image restoration. Restoration mainly improves the appearance of the overall image, and this process is an objective process. So objective process, it involves mathematical methods. So only after using certain mathematical methods only we can say whether the quality of the image is good or not. Such type of process is called objective process. So the next step is color image processing. So in color image processing, generally we deal with color images, and this is gaining a lot of importance because of the increase in the use of many digital images over the internet. Now, next step is wavelets and multi-resolution processing. So these wavelets, they are the main foundation for representing images in different degrees of resolution. Next, so these are used, wavelets are mainly used for image data compression. So now what is compression? Our next step is compression. So compression means, remember, reducing the storage space occupied by an image. So here we are not reducing the size of an image, but with the help of compression we are going to reduce the storage required to save the image, or the bandwidth required to transmit that image. So the next step is morphological processing. This process mainly deals with the tools for extracting image components which are useful in the representation and description of the shape. Now, next step is segmentation. So, segmentation mainly divides or partitions an image into certain parts or objects. So, next step is representation and description. See, representation and description almost always follows the output of the segmentation stage. So generally the output of the segmentation is a raw pixel data. It contains either the boundary of a region or all points in the region. Now, boundary representation. So boundary representation is suitable only when we are focusing on the external shape characteristics of the image, such as corners and inflections. Coming to regional representation. So regional representation is suitable only when we are focusing on the internal properties of the image, such as texture or skeletal shape. So the next step is object recognition. So recognition is the process which assigns a label or a name to an object based on its descriptors. For example, if you have found any vehicle in the image, and if you mention the name of the image as vehicle, then that means you are assigning a label to the image. So assigning a label to an image is nothing but naming the image or giving the name to an image. So the last one is knowledge base. So in the above diagram you might have seen knowledge base, which is the center box in the diagram. So generally the entire knowledge about a problem domain which you are going to deal is coded into the image processing system in the form of a knowledge base. So that means if you are working on a problem domain, So the entire information about the problem domain is first of all coded into the image processing system in the form of knowledge base. Now this knowledge base, it guides the operation of each and every processing module, and it also controls the interaction between the modules. So this is about the topic fundamental steps in digital image processing and the basics of digital image processing. Thank you everyone. Please comment below for further queries. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.